So Beyonce gave us her album covers. Let's discuss. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe, like, and comment. So let's get into it. Beyonce dropped her main cover and her vinyl cover for Cowboy Carter, which will be, from what she's told us, not a country album, but a Beyonce album. The album came in concept when she experienced a very traumatic event where she felt like she wasn't welcome, which we all know what that event was. Just a little background on that. Folks were extremely upset that she was there. No one actually knew she was going to be there, along with the Chicks, which were formerly known as the Dixie Chicks. No one knew that either of them were going to be there, not even the host, who was Carrie Underwood. I can't remember the other gentleman that was hosting it. But apparently in the outline of the show, it just had a block and it just said TBD. Apparently they were coming back from break, and then all of a sudden the curtains start rising and there is Beyonce with the Dixie Chicks. As you can see, the audience was not happy. Well, at least the notable people in the audience was not happy. I think it was like Kenny Chesney that was giving like major looks. Another guy from Lady Antebellum was looking around trying to see like, oh, like, are we feeling this? Like, are we okay with this? Why are we allowing this? So basically after that situation, Beyonce was like, all right, I'm gonna show you folks. You know, they always say like the best revenge is success. And we already know Texas Hold'em has hit #1 on the Billboard again and again. She will always prove people wrong. For some reason, I don't know how many times she has to come out or how many records she has to break, how many new sounds she has to master for people to understand that she is it. She is #1. She is the only one. So the vinyl cover had her standing with these braids and then also a sash that had Beyonce on there. A lot of people were kind of confused. It's like, why did she put an I instead of an O? But a lot of people were unaware that Beyonce is actually her mother's maiden name. So with the vinyl cover, there really wasn't much backlash towards the vinyl cover as there was the main cover. The most notable voice about the vinyl cover was Erykah Badu, where she had highlighted on her story, I guess basically insinuating that the braids with the bees look is hers. She's been doing that, etc. She previously did this with Renaissance Act 1 when she basically said, like, I guess I'm influencing a lot of people when it came to that silver top hat that Erykah has been, you know, pretty synonymous with. Where I can give that to her, I guess, in terms of like, okay, that is an Erykah aesthetic. But when it came to this braid debacle thing, when she put in her story, there have been plenty of people that have worn that braid look well before Erykah was ever even thought of or on the scene. Patrice Rushing, she was an R&B singer. What was her song? It was Forget Me Not. Don't you forget me not. All right, I know the vocals was a little rough, but don't judge me. Stevie Wonder, Rick James. So there is a lot of references for that particular look. Once you watch this video and you decide to comment, I won't accept any Erykah bashing. Erykah is a legend. Erykah is a beast. I just don't know why she's going out like this. It almost feels like she's bored. I don't know what it is, but Erykah, you're not that girl. You're too cool for school. Like, everything about you does not give what it's giving in this. When we get to the actual main album cover where Beyonce is sitting on a horse, looking beautiful as ever with the icy white hair, wearing red, blue, and white. She's essentially holding the American flag, and there has been so much backlash regarding that, and it's coming from all different areas. A lot of people are upset, especially Black people, regarding her carrying an American flag. I'm not sure what other flag is she supposed to carry, especially when she is a Black American. This is a country she was born and raised in. I find the critique of people denouncing the American flag, and I can only speak for Black people or speak on Black people because I am a Black person, and this is just my experience and my belief as a Black person. Whenever we decide to essentially say, well, you know, that flag doesn't represent us, that this ain't my country, this is, you know, things of that nature, I feel like that's what the racists want us to do. They want us to feel disenfranchised. They want us to basically abdicate our citizenship and our birthrights of this country. We built this bitch. I feel like we are doing the work of the people that have been trying to disenfranchise and say that we are not American. At the end of the day, every protest, every single march, we are the reason that there are so many civil rights in this country, because we all know that any right that Black Americans fight for are rights that all Americans receive. We should have pride in what we have built in this country and what we continue to push to make this country better for us and everyone that lives here. So to be upset with Beyonce about holding an American flag, it just doesn't make sense to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that, especially with what's happening in the world, in Palestine and Israel, the American flag means something very different to that part of the world, especially when we are funding the slaughter of thousands of innocent Palestinians. I can understand that level of critique. So at the end of the day, I really see nothing wrong with her holding the American flag on her album cover. That's just me. Debate me in the comments. Let's see where it goes. Another thing too, I think people are really underestimating Black cowboy culture in Houston. And I would just say in Texas as a whole. I used to live in Houston and I did some work in Dallas. I learned so much about my history as a Black American when I lived in Houston. I would love to say that I am a very well-read person. I like to know a little about a lot, but moving to Texas and meeting people that are born and raised in Texas and are fourth generation Texans, Houstonians, things like that, I learned so much. I moved to Houston when I was 21. And I heard this conversation like, oh my God, what are you guys doing for Juneteenth? What are you doing for Juneteenth? Some people are like, I'm going to Dallas for the Juneteenth parade, all this stuff. Oh, we're going to go to Galveston. We're going to do this. And I'm like sitting around here like, what's Juneteenth? But I'm embarrassed. I don't want to say it. Like, what's Juneteenth? So, I'm trying to keep it cute. And basically, I was like, all right, I got to figure out what this is. So I was like, hey, guys, what is Juneteenth? And it was a room full of Black people. And the look on their face when I asked that question, I was like, ooh, I think I'm about to lose my Black card. Like, it's about to be gone. And then when they started to explain it, I was in awe that I had never heard of Juneteenth prior to this experience. Just learning more about Juneteenth, it really opened my eyes up to the Black experience in Houston and in Texas as a whole. There's such a strong sense of patriotism in Texas, in Black America in Texas. They make it a point to let you know that cowboy culture or Americana is not just for the whites. We've been doing this. We've never stopped doing this. This is who we are. And I think because Beyonce has become such a global superstar, I think some people forget her roots. And there have been so many references to the Black cowboy culture throughout their art over the years. And I think if people opened their eyes and paid attention to all the references throughout their work throughout the years, people would understand. If anyone should be able to do a country album, it should be someone like Beyonce that is steeped very heavily in that culture. It's hard to be from Houston and not know and be a part of that culture, or at least rub shoulders with that culture. And she has made it a goal to highlight that culture, even though now people feel like it's more of a focus with this country album / Beyonce album. I guess more so now it's in your face. It's accompanied with lyrics that fit that particular visual. I think at the end of the day, we have to understand that not everyone's Black experience is the same Black experience in this country. I grew up with a dad that is extremely pro-Black, and he taught me a lot of things. And I still, at 21 years old, moved to another city and had no idea of this prolific holiday that they had been celebrating for decades in Texas, which is now it's a federal holiday and everyone knows about it, but they have been doing it for forever. I just hope people will do their research and understand why there is such a love and a sense of pride in what Beyonce is doing with this album and the visuals that she's putting out, because that's what folks in Houston and in Dallas and New Orleans been doing for forever. All right, y'all. Peace.